position is a very unusual and strange position which goes against the body of Islamic scholarship. Leading scholars of Egypt have rejected what he has said, and leading scholars around the world have rejected it. It may be very attractive to those who are looking to deal in interest, but in fact it is incorrect. The Sheikh al-Azhar is a human being, and he can make mistakes like anybody else. And the fact of the matter with regards to this is that that is a wrong ruling. So, naturally, we don't have any example of the Prophet ﷺ paying or receiving interest, not called faida, nor of his companions doing the same. The third question which has come to us by email is from Brother Sadiq, and he writes, Assalamu alaikum, Brother Bilal. Brother, I've strayed off the straight path, and I have a lot of haram in my life, for example, music, movies, cursing, backbiting, etc. I was wondering how I should go about taking the straight path with detail if possible. Also, I have recently been suffering from insomnia. Would the haram in my life be related to my insomnia? What could I do to cure this insomnia, as I'm not keen on taking sleeping pills? Jazakallah khairah, a brother in need. Okay, brother, the first thing is, of course, I have to commend you on realizing that, your life has gone astray, because for one whose life has gone astray, where they don't realize it, they don't recognize it, then there can be no change. How are they going to change something they're not conscious is wrong? And they've taken that path and they are enjoying it, and it doesn't, they don't feel any kind of regret or anything, then naturally they will just carry on down that path. But the very fact that you realize that you're off the path and you are seeking to correct it, this is the first step to correction. The first and necessary step to correction. Secondly, you have identified the things in your life, music, movies, cursing, backbiting, etc., where your main problem lies. I mean, you need to develop the alternatives to these. One would have to say, well, what status is your prayer, your daily prayer? If your prayer is in shambles, meaning you're praying on occasion, then that's where you have to start. You have to start by re-establishing your daily prayers. Praying in the morning for Salatul Fajr, getting up for that prayer, praying your other prayers during the day, Dhuhr and Asr, at sunset, Maghrib, and at Isha. Establishing these prayers, and establishing them with full sincerity, making your preparation for the prayer properly, making a proper wudu, reflecting, because as Allah says through His Prophet ﷺ, when a person makes wudu properly, washing themselves, then their sins drop off with the drops of water which drops from their bodies. This is the purifying force that wudu has. Of course, this is when it's done with sincerity, with a sense of sadness and regret for the sins, etc. And this is a purifying force. Going into the prayer, establishing the prayer correctly, praying, with full consciousness, and making the movements, deliberate, slow, not rushing through the prayer, but doing it very deliberately. Then the Prophet ﷺ also said that from prayer to prayer, it purifies that individual of sin, like a person who has outside his front door a stream, and every day he goes and he bathes in that stream 5 times a day. Will there remain on his body any sin, any dirt? And he gave this as the parable or the simile with the 5 times daily prayer in terms of purifying the individual. So this is the starting point. establish the prayer. And in establishing the prayer, you're establishing remembrance of Allah in your life. Because what you need, obviously, is more remembrance of Allah. And then start to read and to listen to the Quran more. The more you're doing that, then it will get you further and further away from music and movies. Now, likely movies, cursing and backbiting, this has to do with the environment that you're in, the friends that you keep. I would say this is also, whilst you're going to establish a prayer, you need to get out of your environment, out of the environment that you're in. Those friends that you're keeping, you need to leave those friends. Don't spend time with them anymore. Because obviously they're encouraging you to do this backbiting. They're encouraging you to curse because, this is the normal language of the youth today. Youth and adults. That every second word or third word is some kind of a curse word. People feel that is, in or hip or whatever. This type of communication, of course, is against the teachings of Islam. Prophet ﷺ had said that the believer doesn't curse. He's not constantly cursing. And backbiting, of course, is a major sin. As Allah said in the Quran, would you like to eat the flesh of your dead brother while despising it? No. It's like eating your dead brother's flesh. No. Don't backbite each other. So this is something you have to stay away from. But it's the environment that you're in, because you can't backbite by yourself. You have to have somebody who is willing to listen, or somebody who's goading you on and encouraging you to do it. So the best thing is for you to get away from that person or those persons who live that type of a life. So this would, I would say, be the two-pronged attack in dealing with your problem. And of course, after establishing the prayer, I would say try to fast on a regular basis, twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. The special days of fasting, whether it's Arafah or it's the 10th of Muharram, whenever those special days come up, Ramadan comes, try and fast properly, fast well, controlling your appetite when you break the fast, because of course that's the biggest time and test of the fast, so on. And of course, zakah, and Hajj or Umrah. If you have a chance, you have made Umrah, then go to Mecca. This is time. So these are this is the foundation. You want to rebuild your foundation. Change your environment. Remove yourself from these friends. Rafaqa su, your evil companionship. Now, as to insomnia and your state, it could be related. I'm not saying it is specifically, but it could be related. And you'll know. Once you start to establish these things that I spoke about, if you find it's gone, then you know it was definitely related to that state. If in your insomnia you are reflecting on your life and the wrongness of your life, etc., then it's a good thing for you. Your insomnia is helping you, bringing you closer to Allah. It's a blessing from Allah. So, my advice then, to sum up, would be for you, first and foremost, to thank Allah for having this consciousness that you are in haram, that you are astray, and the desire to want to change that. That's good. You started. That's the first step. You will be rewarded. Now you continue it by establishing the foundations of your faith. That is the salah. Establish it 5 times a day, properly. Wudu, your ablutions, etc., done properly. And the other principle, fasting along with it, is good, especially. And we said also to separate yourself from your evil companions, those who encourage you to the movies, to cursing, backbiting, etc., music. Read a lot of Quran, try to increase your Quranic readings, get tapes, Quranic tapes, listen to them with meaning, reflecting on the meanings, because of course, reading of Quran without meaning is questionable. I want you to try to do so and understand what is being said. And with that, we'd like to thank you all for being with us in this segment of the program, for which we have looked at some emails which have come into us, and my email address is fld3@hotmail.com. And you are quite welcome to send in any emails with your questions that you would like. With that, dear viewers, I bid you farewell and hope to see you in our coming segments. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.